Hey guys, it's been a while. Bought this thing, put it to work, started to clear some land up here. I just wanted to get a feel for how the machine was mechanically before I started getting into any, crazy repairs or whatever. And I happened to find a good leak, so have to excuse me. I'm out by the road as normal, so I'm gonna hear cars and bikes go by from time to time. But anyways, while using the machine to clear the land, I took it down to my parents' new house and dug a ditch, re-leveled the driveway, did some stuff down there with it. And when I bought the machine, I was told it had a small swing motor leak. And it wasn't exactly the swing motor that I found leaking. What it was a hose coming up to the left side joystick, and which controls the swing. So I don't know if that's what the previous owner was talking about or whether the motor does have a leak. I have not found yet. But anyways, we had a hose go bad there, and when I was digging around in there to find that hose and that leak, there was another hose that was pretty deeply abraded, so I ended up having to do two hoses on this while I was in there. And I'll insert some of the footage in the talking about that here. They cram an awful lot of hoses down into these joystick consoles that just go down and then to the various valve bodies and components. This thing really needs to be cleaned, and we'll work on that after I get the major leaks fixed that I'm aware of. But here's a couple of the hoses. This is the one that was really causing the problems. It was just pissing right out of there. And while I was in there, I found this other hose that had been rubbing, so might as well do that one at the same time. Now, I think this one was rubbing because it's excessively long. It probably should be similar to the other hose right there, maybe 6 inches to a foot longer. But look at this thing. I mean, it must have been something somebody had laying around, so they just stuck it in there. But I am going to take at least 2, maybe 3 feet off of that line and put them back in. And then this leak should be solved and on to other tasks. Okay, after that little trip in the time machine, you can see what was going on with that. Today we got a lot of projects going on, okay? While I was in there on the left console, the gas shock that holds the safety, the release, the control leash, you put it up and then nothing works while you're in and out of the machine. That hasn't worked. Held up with a bungee cord. So I ordered a new shock. We're going to stick that in today before we close that console back up. And what we're going to do today is we're going to pressure wash this machine. We're going to try and get all the dirt, debris, and all the junk off of it, and then I'll truly be able to see what it is I have, where the problems are. So today's probably going to be a good bit of time lapse, and I will stop and talk when I find something that's worth mentioning. So you watch me work, grab yourself a beverage. I'm going to need one later. Okay, that didn't actually take too long, and it looks a whole lot better. In fact, I'd say just by changing a couple of hoses and giving it a good wash, and I won't even call it a good wash, just a quick pressure wash, I could probably sell this machine for $2 more than I paid for it already. So I'm going to finish cleaning it up, but I'm going to give you a quick comparison. I took a minute to do a walk around video with my phone before. I'm going to do that one more time and show you. Okay, this is the after. I'm going to try and figure out how to do these side by side so you guys can see what a little pressure washing did to this thing. But it's quite the difference if you ask me. Quite happy, and I haven't even gone through and degreased anything yet. So yeah, it's pretty good. Little bleach solution, very weak bleach solution on the lichen, hopefully to kill that off, but it made a pretty big difference. I mean, this thing's actually white again, and I know some of you guys are probably gonna get in the comments section and yell at me for using the higher pressure nozzle, but I don't care if I peeled some paint. In fact, that would be beneficial, because eventually I'm going to go backwards and at least paint the areas that need it, if not the entire machine. So overall, quite satisfied. Okay, that's the outside. So now I'm going to pull a couple of panels, pop the engine compartment, and do a little pre-soak with some purple power degreaser. Let that sit for a little bit and see what I get there. So I apologize for the lighting. I have this one area where my house casts a shadow, so I'm shooting here so that the water and the soap don't dry up instantaneously, because it is late August and pretty damn warm today. So on to step 2. Okay, I'm not sure when that went dead because, well, I was busy working, but apparently the battery went dead, and I have it plugged in, but the cord wasn't quite all the way into the socket. So lost power. So I'm done with the pressure washing for today. I will do a whole lot more pressure washing in the future when I get close to painting it, but for right now I just wanted to have a little cleaner work area and basically find out exactly what it was I had underneath all that muck and grime and algae. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied, but let's take a closer look. All right, this is what we ended up with for today. Like I said, I'm gonna do a whole lot more power washing when I'm ready to actually paint it, but today's goal was to find out what exactly I had to work with and to clean up some of my work surfaces so that I'm just not covered in grease all the time. And speaking of covered in grease, well, the whole driveway is covered with grease. The pressure washer's covered with grease. I am covered with grease, but working in the future should be a whole lot easier. So let's take a peek in here. That is a whole lot easier to work on, and by getting most of the grease off, I'll be able to find leaks a little bit easier, I believe, and go from there. So, all right, let's move the camera, set up the new shock, and get our safety latch working properly. Now, I'm not a guy that usually stresses over safety features a whole lot. I do wear my seatbelt when I'm taking the tractor up and down the hill, things that are a little sketchy. But this is a big one. I've been using this a bunch since I bought it, and even if you drop the idle down and you try and sneak out while it's running, and you just bump this control, it can start to turn the excavator, or you lose your footing, slip, fall, run yourself over, something like that. I don't know. So this is something I had to make sure I did. So make sure that this stays up out of the way. I know the safety mechanism works because if I bungee it up, the control's down here. So the safety switch is in place, but the gas shock is bad. So we are going to get that changed. Bobcat wanted like $60-something for this. I found another place online for 25 bucks, same exact part number, and I got it in a couple days. So if I remember, I'm going to stick that link down below for anybody that needs part number 6670863, gas shock for the safety switch cutoff. So I've got to remove one of these hydraulic lines that's in the way of the top bolt. I believe it's a 1/2-inch bolt that holds this on. Let's see. I need another 1/2-inch wrench. Let's see, I think I got a 13mm over here. Will that work? Get the nut off with my fingers so I don't drop it into oblivion. problem. They dropped. Another hydraulic hose is in the road. It just happens to be one of the ones I replaced the other day. So close. I don't want to push that off. Alright, front is free there. And there goes the bolt, right? Oh, this bottom bolt was really loose. In fact, I've tightened it up by my fingers a couple of times. Already it was backing itself out. Alright, easy enough. There's nothing left to that one. Ooh. A couple of bushings in there I think I need. I'm not going to tighten that bottom one up yet. We've got to rotate the shaft a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to do it the same way I took it out. I think I'm going to, in the reverse, I'm going to get the top eyelet done first. It seems like that's going to be the more awkward one. Now I gotta find that nut I dropped. Just making sure it didn't catch something up top and I don't waste my time digging around down below. I'm just going to go see if I got another nut that'll work. That would be a whole lot easier than digging in the grease pit, so I'll be back. Alright, let's try this again. Luckily, my brother-in-law had the exact bolt, or excuse me, nut that I needed with the pan head or whatever it's called. Washer head nut, I'm not sure. But shove that baby in the box end of the wrench, and hopefully there's enough room to get it in there. It's tight. Success. I'm safe now. Alright. I'm just going to put the enclosure back on the left joystick console and then clean up my mess, because I think I need to degrease a fair part of the driveway now, because I made a real mess. So, thanks for watching.